Commissioner Davis.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Board, for giving this opportunity to address you in reference to the Recreation Department audit. It has been brought to my attention through citizens' complaints that there are some inconsistencies relating to the operation of the Recreation Department. Through those complaints, I have taken it upon myself to look into certain matters, which has led me to some questionable concerns. Though I have no predetermination on how these inconsistencies develop, it is my opinion and suggestion to the board that we engage ourselves in a transparency process for the citizens we serve. This process should be implemented in a manner that every party involved are given a factual process, ensuring that things are done decent and in order by checks and balances. The financial information the board received from the finance department and the Recreation Department at my request does not give detailed information regarding how monies have been obtained on the behalf of Warren County. I have also been notified by the Director of Finance that there is not an internal audit process in place for this department, which could have addressed these inconsistencies. It is my opinion that we engage in an independent audit, offering several conclusions to this matter. 1, displaying a transparency process, offering a structured process for Warren County departments taking monies on the county's behalf. Should there be any other inconsistencies, allows parties involved to give an explanation whether they are intentionally or unintentionally. Displaying to the citizens that we serve that we are good stewards of the county's finances and the operation of the departments. But let me be clear. For these reasons, I have called for this audit. In my humble opinion, it offers an unbiased process exposing all concerns relating, whether the board decides to engage in this audit or not. The inconsistencies surrounding these matters shall be brought forth, and an answer to them shall be given to the public and to this governing body. Thank you.
Okay. So do you have a specific instance where you feel that that money was given and not turned in, or what? I mean, do you have something concrete?
What I have was concrete in my eyes, but I asked for this audit because it gives a foundation in reference to, should there even, by your request or by your comment there, should there be an investigation? Now, with that regard, I'm just not speaking of just monies being involved. As I stated in my comments here, is that the entire department within itself. There are just things that do not add up, and with that concern, as a commissioner, I bring it before the board. Now, with that said, if the board decides to not engage in an audit, it does not dissolve the issues that are at hand. It's just a starting process for this board, and it gives each party involved a chance to explain themselves in reference to the inconsistencies that have been brought to me.
So can you cite us a couple? You said things don't add up, so can you cite us?
Well, Chairman, I believe that at this point in time, number one, it's just not a particular of saying what I have seen. Now, to my understanding, that the Recreation Department has not been audited, period.
We just spent $50,000 on an audit. And I'm sure as part of that process, the Recreation Department was audited. And the Audit Department says, but you're saying that you want to see a more intense audit than that?
Well, if that be the case, then I understand. That was an audit that was given to the Warren County government. But the independent audit for each department has not been done. Ms. Worth, you are the one that even said that there has not been one. I have the email that was sent to me by you.
That the audit that I was referring to is the audits that the finance director conducts. What is your schedule for conducting an audit? She conducts an audit of all the departments that collect money and turns them into finance.
And that was per my conversation prior to making this decision, is that I did speak with Ms. Evans, and I asked, what is the process for the auditing the departments? And Ms. Evans, you told me that every other department has an audit process except for Mr. Williams' department.
And that's the internal audit process.
No, I did not say every department except his. I said I have not audited his cash because he does not have a cash drawer. He does not keep cash on hand. The departments that we audit, and we have audited all of them back in October, Jamie and Ms. Holtzman and myself did not audit recreation because they do not have a cash drawer. They should not have any cash in their office at any time unless they turn it in that day. But no, I have not been to their office to see if they have any cash, but they're supposed to turn it in daily.
Okay.
They do not have a cash drawer, so no, I have not been to their office to
Well,
audit anything.
now, I don't want to get away from the particular point. The audit, by my request, does not dissolve the particular issue, okay? It was just a starting process. Now, if the board decides not to do that, that's fine and dandy, but there are things that must be answered for.
What specific?
Oh, that's one at a time, that's one at a
I
time.
didn't hear it, I'm sorry.
Mr. Davis, if I'm hearing you correctly, what you're looking for is to see if procedures are in place, for accountability, to have a little bit more clarity as to what's going on, and if we need to enhance the procedures to make things a little bit more accurate or have more clarity.
That is true. That would be accurate.
Okay.
At my request, I asked for certain information that was not given to me. And to my understanding that this information does not exist, I got a overall spreadsheet. And what I was looking for was detailed information. And that was my request from you, Ms. Wood.
What was the detail that you did not receive?
I asked for specific receipts and or agreements relating to the recreation department.
What agreements? I'm not familiar with you asking for any agreements. I sent you the information that you asked for as it relates to what Mr. Williams took in and what he turned in. And it balanced with the finance department's records, and that's what I shared with you and all of them.
I just think that's a misunderstanding of what I'm asking for.
What type of agreements?
I'm looking for if Mr. Williams writes on a receipt on a spreadsheet for a particular registration fee or whatever, then that should be in detail.
So you're asking for a receipt, is that what you're asking for?
I'm looking for whatever spreadsheet or whatever manner that he uses in order to be accurate on whatever monies he takes in or is given out.
Okay, so you're asking for, say for instance, if he's got to sign up for a sporting event, you're looking for the actual names of the individuals that turned in money to him?
If that's his process.
Is that what you're asking?
If that's his process.
Because I wasn't clear on that.
Well, okay.
I didn't know you were looking for receipts or that type of information. I did send you spreadsheets that Mr. Williams shared with me that balanced to what was turned in, but it did not have names. I didn't know you were looking for names. Is that what you're looking for so that we can be clear?
Well, if that's his process. But I don't want to get hung up on just the audit itself. By your email itself, it said that there is not an SOP together in order to address these issues.
And it has been done, and I had instructed Ms. Edmonds to put one in place.
Okay,
And she has done that.
since my,
Yes, yes.
okay, so with that said, that's fine and dandy, and I appreciate that. But I am in favor of this audit prior to know where we are.
Mr. Williams furnished me with a list, a spreadsheet of all the funds he took in fiscal year 14, and as of today for fiscal year 15. And I took all of our receipts where he turned the money in, that we have on file in our office, and our munis general ledger where we entered everything, and all three of them balance.
Okay, Ms. Evans, did you not tell me that when I asked you for this information, that you told me that Mr. Williams just bring you money in bulk and you write him a receipt for it, that there is not detailed information in reference to where this money came from?
That's correct.
That's correct.
He has a form that he turns in, and on the form it says whether it is for private contributions, recreation fees, or concessions. Now, he turns in a lump sum of money for concessions. Does not turn it in every day, but I don't know how often they get concessions. But he is turning in money on a regular basis to us, and I have a spreadsheet that I came up with of how much was recreation fees, how much concessions, and how much was sponsorship.
Is that in detail?
It's in detail. When you say detail to me, from our point of view, we get a deposit form with the funds that he turns in. We count the money to make sure it's correct, and we enter it into our munis system under these categories. We don't get anything that says $20 came from this person or that person. We get a lump sum of money for concessions, a lump sum of money for recreation fees, and anything else that he has taken in.
But you do understand that this audit is not against the finance department, it's against the recreation department.
Well, I hope it's not against anybody, actually.
Well,
But what, I was just trying to give you the information that we have in the finance
well,
office.
I don't want to be distorted by what I'm asking, and what I'm asking is not from your level, it's from Mr. Williams' level. Now, I hate the fact that we're talking over Mr. Williams and he's sitting right in this
Steve,
room.
you gonna come on up?
May I ask Mr. Chairman?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, may I ask Mr. Davis a question?
Sure.
Mr. Davis, do you have specific inconsistencies that you want to bring before us or before Mr. Williams, or is this just something you're thinking? Because I'm thinking that maybe, in my opinion, from what you're saying, instead of an audit, you want to change his method of bookkeeping. You know, because from what you're saying, if you don't have any specific problems or situations,
I do
the audit
respect.
is not gonna find them. I mean, you know, if they just check his books, they're gonna see that everything matches, so what good would an audit do if you don't have anything specific for them to look for?
Well, Ms. Baker, I would say this, and I don't know if the county attorney would back me up on this or not. But at this point in time, yes, I do. And in my statement, I said that there are things that I myself have seen, that has brought me to this level of asking the board to do this audit. Now, like I said, now, if the audit is not in place, then it does not dissolve the issues that are at hand. Now, with that said, now, if we desire to go forth with this thing with everything that I know, reference to the audit, that's fine. But at the same time, I request that all his records be presented, that we can counter everything that I'm saying versus what he is displaying.
Okay. So let me, Mr. Williams, I want to ask you a question. And the question is, if I want to be a part of the recreation department. I want to participate. So I'll come out and I'll sign up. I'll give you $20. What do you give me back? Do I get a receipt for my $20?
Before, if you asked for a receipt, we gave you one. If you didn't, we didn't give a receipt, but we entered on a file, on a record sheet of you signed up. Now, starting now, after talking to Ms. Evans, we give everybody that come in a receipt. They can throw away or whatever due to it, but she gave us a receipt book, and then we write them a receipt.
So heretofore that, you didn't give a receipt,
And
that's what I asked for.
Right. We entered the information on a sheet, list, a registration sheet, and the money and everything, and then I have a form for the youth fees for baseball. And we entered the daily fees in there, and then we turned that in, and that sheet's balanced up, for it turn in.
Somebody else have any questions and comments?
I do. So how do you keep up with who gives you money? For what reason?
All right, like right now, we got youth baseball registration going on. I'm just throwing out a figure. Let's say we took in, $300 a day. The kid come in and sign up, we write the kid's name down for T-ball and everything, the age, phone number, and the registration fee if paid. Give them a receipt, then at the end of the day, we enter it on a form that we got on our computer, youth fees collected for March 2nd. We took in $300, we entered $300. Tomorrow morning, I turn in $300 to the finance department. That's listed on the overall report.
And you have,
registration fees.
and you have that information
Right.
right now.
Oh, yeah,
That's the information that I was requesting.
right. So you
Right.
say, like, if you see on the overall report, registration fees,
I hate to cut you off. I don't want to see the overall report. I want to see detailed information as far as the monies that you taking in from particular people, and also from rentals, from everything that's associated with the recreation department. That's what we asking for.
right?
Because it's clear right now, if everything was in place, when I asked this information, I'd have received it. You would have to go back, putting SOPs in order to show exactly what you're doing.
Now we have a daily report for session for 2014-15. Every day we took in money from the session, that money turned into me. I entered on a session report. If I deposit $1,000 at the end of this week, and that $1,000 deposit is into the overall sheet, and the $1,000 deposit says $1,000 concession. But it's a concession sheet kept, and then it's an overall sheet kept. After talking to Ms. Evans, the overall sheet gonna be changed, where it had each one of them be headed like, Soul City pool gate, Soul City concession, overall concession. But the overall report, for each overall report we give at the end of the year, it's also a report for concession, for youth fee collected for baseball, youth fee collected for football, youth fee collected for basketball. All that is also on there.
Mr. Chairman, I'm very clear about what I'm asking. I understand what Mr. Williams' position is, but it does not give me what I feel that the board should have in order to understand exactly how these monies move about.
Okay, well, I mean, I hear you, but the bottom line is, we're gonna hear from everybody, and then we're gonna, of course, then we're talking about your motion. There could be a motion made to approve or not approve an independent audit, and if you get 3 folks that vote that wanna do it, then that's what we're gonna do. If not, then we're not. So, does anybody else have any questions? Anybody else have any concerns?
I do. If he says he has specific information, when is it coming out? If we vote now to do an audit? I mean, you did say you had some specific information.
I do, and Ms. Baker, and Ms. Baker, and this is the thing, to ensure that there's a transparency to this. I asked for the audit because the audit gives us a solid foundation to go from. There wouldn't be There is no other additives that's be added to it or anything like that. The audit will balance out against whatever I have seen and the complaints that have been brought to me. It'll be checks and balances. Without the audit, then we're balancing against sand because it's shifting, it's moving. That's what I'm saying.
If I may,
understand that.
Commissioner Davis.
Yes.
For me, this is like a big pill to swallow, because the county did just, we got back a favorable, audit.
For the county.
For the county, which included our county department. It included the department
It does not include
But-
the departments in,
in great they will tell you they do not do line item accounting, because it's cost, because of the cost of it. That is very detailed work, and I understand that. So if you're telling us, hey, I believe that there are some inconsistencies in the recreation department, and I want this board to approve a detailed audit, which we know will be costly, without a doubt, come with something. Specifically, come with something to tell us. Or are you afraid that if you tell us what it is, that they're gonna go back and fix those inconsistencies? It's like, give us something.
I'm not
Because we
afraid-
just came back with a favorable audit, so we're trying to figure out
I'm
what's
not,
going on here.
first of all, I'm not afraid of anything. And second of all, I've said that I have no predetermination in reference to this thing. But there are things that have to be explained. Now, the audit, if the board decides not to do the audit, I'm fine with it. It still does not dissolve the issues at hand. The audit just gives a starting point in order to dissolve them.
You say issues at hand, but the only thing that you really said, there are some inconsistencies. We want transparencies, but you're not being transparent yourself. It's
Okay.
like, come with it. Whatever it is that you're saying, that you have an issue, or that you got a complaint from a constituent that says, hey, there are some inaccuracies in the recreation department, specifically tell us, be transparent about that. What is it?
Okay, should we go in closed session? Because it is,
Okay, so, since you did ask, I think from a legal standpoint, and I thought we had a slight conversation about this. I think from a legal standpoint, if there is an allegation, it needs to be made. And if that's the case, that can be made in closed session if you're suggesting criminal behavior. That is something that the law allows a board to go into closed session about. If there's, but that has not been alleged. And so at this point, I think Commissioner Jordan is correct. What we have is one commissioner saying there's some problems, and there may be, I don't know. But we can't act on one board member. The entire board needs to know. So either you're going to make the allegation or you're not. But the board has a requirement under the law that they can't discuss that until it's made. That you can't have that conversation in private until it's made. And they can't make a decision about an audit until they have a reason to have the audit. So you gotta give somewhere, something's gotta give.
I tell you what, man.
Yeah, I think there are some procedural concerns within the department based on what he's saying and what you all alluded to as well. And that's just my personal opinion. I think in all fairness to everybody, maybe an independent audit would just solve everything and nobody would have any real, kind of, what I'd say, skin in the game. Sort of, it would be independent, it would be objective, and then whatever we receive, then that's what we'll go with,
If I may, and I suppose I should.
Sure.
ask,
Go ahead.
There are a couple things that and county manager certainly does budgeting more than, that's not my purview, but my job is to protect you all from risk and liability. An independent audit is gonna cost you about what your countywide audit costs you. You need to know that, because they'll start from scratch. They won't accept anything from anybody in a department. And I'm not sure how far back, Commissioner Davis, you wanna go, but you're talking about starting from scratch and literally going receipt by receipt, which is what I'm saying.
I tell you what, I can put this to rest.
But-
I'm gonna withdraw my motion for the audit. But like I said, it is not gonna dissolve the issue, and I'm done with it.
Well, what role do we play in dissolving this issue as a board?
It will be discussed.
Okay. All right, so here's where we are right now. I think that we've had a full iron, but let me just give you a bigger issue. If there is such a bigger issue about doing an audit, or if we're gonna audit the recreation department, then we have other departments to deal with cash. And we're gonna go that step, and we wanna go to that detail, we wanna pull out every receipt, we wanna pull out every check, every transaction, that we need to get those departments as well.
That was my first, request.
So you wanna do it for everybody?
Well, where are we, Mr. Chairman? Are we gonna say that we're gonna have a conversation about doing it, or we're not? Because I'm good with not even doing it, because it does not resolve the issues that I have. And I am going to disclose everything to the board, one by one. And then you make your own determination from that.